And so our first season at Benfica today will come to an end. We have won already the Portuguese League and we have won the Allianz Cup. And today, in the final episode of the season, we will play in the Portuguese Cup final against a very strong Porto. This is not going to be an easy game, and we are going to have to be on our game to beat Porto. We're going to have to come up with a plan. Can we do it? Can we make it 3 trophies out of 3 domestically? Can we beat Porto? Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to the Road to Glory Part 6, Season 1, here at Benfica. And as you will have seen in the last episode, it's been a very successful season. We have won the Portuguese League and we beat Braga in the Allianz Cup final to make it 2 out of 2 so far. Can we make it 3 out of 3 today, as we will take on the strongest team in the Portuguese League at the moment, Porto? Can we put the icing on the cake today? What a season it will be if we can beat Porto in the cup final today. And now there are only 2 questions to answer. Did we finally manage to go the whole season in the league unbeaten? And what is going to happen in the summer when all these players that we have who are wanted and want to leave? What is going to happen when they leave? But for now, we just have to focus on what is going to happen in the cup final today. And we'll worry about the summer when the summer comes. But before we get into all that, if you're a first-time visitor here and you love FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, then you are definitely in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that we are trying to support. And you can see that scrolling up above me. And today we will be at the cup final, and then we will follow that with the season review. And what a season it has been, and I am really quite excited to see what that little review session might throw up about this Benfica team. What an amazing season it has been. But first, did we make it unbeaten throughout the whole season? And if we have a look at what's happened on the pitch since you were last with us, you will remember that in the last episode we beat Braga by 2-0 in the Allianz Cup final, and then after that we followed that up with a 4-1 victory against Salgueiros, and then we beat Portimonense by 3-2, and finally in the final game of the season we fought out a 1-1 draw with Braga, and that was enough for us to go the entire season unbeaten in the league, and so far unbeaten in the domestic cup competitions. And so now the only question in terms of football on the pitch is, can we beat Porto and remain totally unbeaten in all domestic competitions? The only blip on our season would be not winning the Champions League, but we were not expecting to win the Champions League this season, and I'm not expecting to win it now, as the squad has been decimated to the bone. We have lost all our key players. All the great players that we had when I joined are finally going to be leaving the club, and during the summer it is going to be a very difficult time. And we will have very little budget to play with. The board have already made their decision. They made their decision in terms of the transfer budget in around March time, when I did have at that time 21 million left in the transfer budget, but the board adjusted the budgets during that time, I think, to prevent me spending that 21 million before we went into the summer transfer window. They did that to stop me planning ahead in terms of players coming in, because looking at the squad, there are a number of players who are likely to leave. Morato is wanted, Orsnes is wanted and he wants to leave. Hugo Novoa, he wants to leave and he is wanted, and many more. We have Eze Abde, I think he wants to stay but he is wanted. Injai is wanted, our young fullback. Veloso is wanted, our young attacking midfielder. Andre Gomez is wanted. I think so many wanted players. I'm going to have to try and tie down some of these contracts with these younger players. Gedson Fernandez, a young player, young midfielder, is wanted. And there are also many players that we know are leaving. Maximiliano Gomez is leaving. Schick is leaving. And Jesus Fernandez is leaving, which leaves us with very few strikers or players able to play as a striker. And it is going to be a very tough summer transfer window. And so this is a very, very big game for us. And I do believe that Porto actually are the strongest team in the league at the moment. It is not Benfica. Porto have gone with us stride for stride. They had a poor start to the season, and that was what their downfall was. If they had not had such a poor start, they probably, given what's been happening off the field at Benfica, they would have probably won the league. And so, as we are probably underdogs for this game, if we just go out and play our normal game, we are probably going to lose this match, and we have to have some sort of way of playing. And I did spend a long time in the data hub looking for weaknesses that we could use, but in all fairness to Porto, I could not find anything that I could use to our advantage. So what I have to do is make sure that we are very strong defensively, and the only plan that I can come up with is that there are two things that I know. Porto are an extremely good passing team, and in terms of our approach to that, then what I want to do is make sure that we are not pressing too much. It's really important that we don't press them too much. We do not want to be running around the pitch like headless chickens, and so we are going to come off the counter press, and we are going to come off the trigger press, and we're going to just make sure that we are only trigger pressing slightly more often. This will mean that we will leave the players to make the decisions, and so we will need to pick players who have good decision-making ability. We are also not going to step up more, and the reason for doing that is that we are going to play with a low block, a very unusual move in this save for me. But the interesting thing that I have found out is that Porto do score a lot of goals from around the penalty spot, and we actually concede most of our goals from around our penalty spot. And so the idea is to compress the play in our own half, and this is where we want to win the ball, and we want to make sure that we have numbers back here so that we can defend properly. I think my first priority today is to defend against what is a very good and a very strong team. We will also not be playing out of defence, and I will also ask my DLP to play on a defend duty rather than a support duty, which he would play against much weaker teams. And so you never know in FM if you're making the right decisions, and I don't know if this is the right decision in this game. I feel that if we don't do anything to change things, then Porto will roll us over. They have much, much better passing ability than we do, and we need to be set up for that. And if we are running all over the pitch and trying to close them down and get too close to them, then they probably will make monkeys out of us and win the game. I want to make sure we are defensively solid first, and then we will launch counter-attacks. That is the way I think we can win this game. Who knows if it's right? We will never know if it's the right decision or the wrong decision, but sometimes you've got to make these decisions, and that's how we're going to play today. Win or lose, it has been a great season for us, and we will have done ourselves proud whatever happens. But I wonder, have I made the right decision here today? I think that we should go and find out. So we will go to the cup final, we'll watch the cup final unfold, and then after that we'll come back with the season's review. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for the cup final today against Porto is Alvarez in goal. He keeps his place ahead of Grbic, who has not been in good form this season. And then we have Fernandez, Rodriguez, Morato and Mendy at the back. Orsnes and Luis in midfield. At the right wing we have Novoa. We've put him in because he has superior decision making. Ez Abde, Torres and Schick will form the front three. I'm hoping that I've actually called this right. We are going to maintain our positive attitude to the game. We are going to play on the front foot. We're just going to drop the line, and hopefully we'll then be able to control a very difficult Porto team and make sure that we are defensive and well established at the back. And I think we want to go out there, prove you are winners, and make me proud, make the whole city proud, make the board proud, make the fans proud. Let's go out and win this football match. Let's make it 3 out of 3. And we have made a bright start. We have got the first shot on target, but it has come to nothing, and there are 5 or 6 minutes gone. It's a fairly even contest, I get. We are managing to dominate possession. That's what I would like to see. We don't want to give Porto too much of the ball because they are extremely good passing team. I'd rather us have the ball than just simply sit back and defend. We are ahead in terms of XG, only just though. Our shots have not been that spectacular, but we're doing very well. And here's Luis. Luis finds Abde on the left. Abde with a speculative cross into the box. It doesn't arrive in the box or senses. He finds Martin. Martin for Novoa. Novoa's shot goes into Rosed. I think it took a deflection. It is at the moment Porto 0. Benfica 0. We look the better team in terms of the stats. We just need to get a goal and settle all the nerves. And there's across the far post. We have scored. It is Morato who has scored from a corner. Playing the low block might have been the way to play against Porto. You never know when you make these decisions. Being defensively solid comes first, I think, in a game like this. Lovely corner, and Morato doing what Morato does, and he makes it. Porto 0, Benfica 1. We do need to be careful. This game is a long way from being over, but we are looking like we are the better team, and we are better prepared, I think. And Porto really are struggling to put anything together in terms of attack. Just we'll check on what's actually going on. Beto, obviously a very good striker, is perhaps the only danger we have to worry about at the moment. But I think we've got him well covered. We've certainly got their midfield closed down, and I think we're doing very, very well. We just need to keep our heads and make sure that we don't do anything silly at the beginning of the second half. And I'm going to say, I think something about complacency. I think we have to, let's win it for the fans. It's a rivalry. Let's get out there, win this for the fans. And you weren't that bad, but you can do even better. And if we do it for the fans, let's make everybody happy. I think possibly we'll see how the second half begins in terms of the match momentum. I may come back to a more balanced mentality, but we are still dominating the game early in the second half. Schick has picked up an injury, so I will need to replace him with Gomes. It will give Gomes a last run out. And where is Gomes? He's not actually on the bench, which is a bit of an oversight. Now, there he is. So Gomes can come on for Schick, who has picked up an injury. And let's hope Gomes can put one in the back of the net in the final. It'll be nice for him before he leaves the club. I think he's going off to Wolves or Leeds, and I'm not quite sure that's a good move for him, but he made the decision. That's up to him. And there's an example of how pressing sometimes doesn't work, and our press was a little bit off there. And maybe it is right. Maybe my thinking to come back to a more balanced style might be good at this point in the game. Will depend what happens in this highlight. We've given away a number of goals, and they do have a chance, and we have defended it well. I think, yes, I will come back to a balanced approach here. We've given away a number of goals just after half time. We do have another injury to Mendy. Let's sort that injury out. Who do I have at left back here? I think we'll bring on Joachim Mailer. He was a little bit upset at being left out. Martinez, though, was a better decision maker for my money at right back. And he got the nod, Martin, at right back. And so Mailer gets his chance. And hopefully he won't let us down. But there's a lovely ball through. And Porto are in and Porto have scored. It is now 1-1. And the match... it's just going to be one of those games, I think. It could go either way. I don't want to panic at this stage, but then again, I don't want to let Porto back into the game. I might go back to more attacking. It was poor defensive work. We've been defending well, but that was just very, very poor. And our centre-backs lost their man, and that was not good enough. And I think maybe we'll stay positive for the moment. Let's just try and see if we can win this game. At the moment, it's all Porto, and we've lost the momentum of the game. They are a better team than we are. They are in again. They have scored again, and now it is time to go attacking. We have to get back into this game. It's time to go attacking now, and I'm going to berate the team. This is not good enough, and they need to know it's not good enough. We are losing now 2-1, having taken the lead. And defensively, we've been very poor. We need to do a number of things. I'm going to make some changes here to the tactic. And we will... let's have a look what we can do. I think possibly what I can do is go to our main attacking form. And what I will do is put our fullbacks on attack. And let's go for it. And there is a chance, and it has hit the post. We do have to take the game to them now. There's no point in sitting back now. And let's push up the lines. Let's go for them. Let's go for the jugular. It's Porto 2, Benfica 1 at the moment. And that is headed out for another corner. And we do hopefully... can score from this corner. No, we can't. It's headed away, and Porto are going to break. And it will be a shame if we don't win this, but I do believe Porto are a better team than we are at this moment in time. We are on the decline while Porto are on the way up, and the more players that we lose, the worse we're going to get. Porto are in again. They do have another chance. It's a great save from Alvarez. We are losing this game now. We have totally lost the match momentum. Porto are looking far more dangerous than we are. Some of our players are not playing very well. I need to make some changes, I think. Get some fresh legs on the pitch. But Porto do have another chance. And that press was poor. We should be pressing now. Let's go and make some changes. And so we have made a couple of changes. We do need to keep up this attack. And it is, though, however, Porto are the better team, clearly the better team. We have managed to survive that free kick, and here is a break. It's Gomez on the ball. Gomez, he lacks support, though, needs to slow it down, needs to find support. He finds Novoa. Novoa breaking up the right-hand side. It's a beautiful counter-attack, this. Can we get numbers into the box? He's breaking into the box. It is a chance, and he fires it straight at the goalkeeper when... a pass across the box might have been a better option. We are looking poor at the moment. It is going the way of Porto. I probably need to make another couple of changes. And I am actually unable to make any further changes. I have used up all my stoppages. And so the game is coming to a close. It's not going to be the clean sweep of trophies that I had hoped for. It's Porto 2, Benfica 1. We are well beaten, I think. We let a 1-goal lead go. We were doing very well at half-time. Porto have come out in the second half, been much the better team, and they have won the Portuguese Cup final. I don't want to watch this. I'm going to go off to the dressing room now, and I'm going to say it was not acceptable. I'm far from pleased. And they should have done a lot better. Having taken the lead, we should have done a lot better. But it has been an extremely good season. We didn't get the clean sweep. We didn't eventually manage to get an unbeaten record domestically all through the season. However, we were unbeaten in the league, and to do that is a remarkable achievement. I can't take all the credit myself, of course, because I didn't join until sometime in November, so I can't take all the credit. I think my first game was somewhere around Boa Vista, where we won 4-2. So games were played before I arrived, but we have continued along the path of winning games, and to finish unbeaten in the league is a remarkable achievement. To finish with 2 trophies from 3, I'll be happy with that. Let's go and have a look now at the season review. And so we come to the end of season review for Benfica, and first things, of course, to have a look at the new arrivals. There were only 6 new arrivals, four of which played extremely well. Rafael Luis playing as a midfielder, central midfield most of the season. He came in from Leicester for 41 million, had an average rating of 7.33. He's a very, very good player. Iker Alvarez, the goalkeeper, who almost took over the number 1 spot from Grubic at the end of the season. He did very well for a 7.3. Martin Fernandez, 23-year-old fullback, he did very well. He looks like a good prospect for the future, 7.1. And Melvin Bard, who got injured at the end of the season but had a very good opening few games, and he managed an average rating of 7. Grubic, not very impressed by him coming in from Atletico Madrid. And then Luciano Rodriguez, a bit disappointed with him, and we'll be hoping that he does a lot better next season. And in terms of the season results, we won the league very easily, and we won by 16 clear points. We were unbeaten throughout the season, and it's lovely to see. It's the first time that I have done this in a few years. I think the last time was 3 years ago when I'm managing Norwich, that I went a whole league season without being beaten, and it's really good to be able to do it again. It was not a clean sweep of trophies. In the Champions League, we lost to Real Madrid in the round of 16, soundly beaten really, but we put up a good performance. And then in the Taco de Portugal placard, we finished runners-up. We were beaten by Porto in the final, as we saw, by 2-1. In the Allianz Cup, we managed to win that cup, and we beat Braga in the final by 2-0, and that was the second trophy that we won this season. And then I'm not sure what this is. I think it's similar to the Community Shield in England, but we lost that to Braga by 2-0. But it was in the league that we excelled. Totally unbeaten throughout the season. That makes me feel very proud. You don't get to do that very often. And in terms of the moments to remember, there was a 10-1 victory against AZ in the Champions League before I arrived. I wish I'd been here to see that. But when I was here, in our very first Champions League game, we did go away to Stuttgart and beat them by 6-1, and I do remember that one. It was a great opening episode. And the goal of the season was by Schick, who will be leaving us this summer, unfortunately. In terms of finances, it's been an absolute disaster, and we have lost a lot of money in terms of broadcast revenue, but all other revenue seems to be up, and I find this really strange that we had that absolute catastrophe financially in the winter, and it caused all sorts of mayhem, and we lost all sorts of players. We have gone up in reputation by 0.5 star over the course of this season, so that's quite pleasing. Finances, it just puzzles me. I don't know what happened there, why we went into that crisis when we are clearly making money. And in terms of merchandise, we sold a lot of shirts, 40,000 shirts. Top shirt seller was Neres, surprisingly, followed by Schick, Torres, Novoa and Gomez. And in terms of our first team, I can't argue with this really. Grubic, I think, just about keeps it from Alvarez. Then Fernandez, Morato, Rodriguez, Mendy, Arsenes, Neres, Rafael Luis, Torres, Abde and Gomes. I can't argue with that, really. Perhaps Schick could come in as the striker. They were very, very close in terms of how they performed this season. In terms of the accolades, not much. A couple of Manager of the Month awards. And Fans Player of the Season was 33-year-old Patrick Schick, striker who scored a lot of goals. Rafael Luis was the young player of the season. I'm hoping I can keep him as we go into the new season. Malvin Bard is the signing of the season, and I'm hoping to get him fit for the beginning of next season. Goal of the season, Patrick Schick. Top goal scorer was Schick with 32 goals. He is 33 years old now, so perhaps a good idea to let him go. David Neres was the top assist with 16 assists. Most player of the match awards belongs to Maximiliano Gomez with 8, and highest average rating is Maximiliano Gomez with a 7.6 overall. Andre Gomez picked up the best pass completion for the season. And in terms of record breakers, the youngest player playing for Benfica was 16-year-old winger. He played before I actually arrived, so it's not something I can lay claim to, but he was 15 years and 332 days old when he made his debut for Benfica. Maybe a player of the future. And it was history in the making. We got rolling when in the middle of the season when I came in, and we were like a steamroller from there on in. It was a very successful season. 2 trophies, an unbeaten season in the league. You can't do much better than that. Well, we could, but I'm not sure that we're going to be able to repeat that next season. And so we have come to the end of the season, and it has been a good season, a season in which we can be very proud, a season in which we have achieved an unbeaten season in the league, and you do not get the chance to do that very often. It is a pity, it is a shame that we didn't add the Portuguese Cup to the other 2 trophies, which would have meant we were unbeaten for all domestic competitions, but it wasn't to be. I will take being unbeaten in the league. That does not happen very often in FM, and I'm a very proud manager today as we speak. And that's it for this episode. If you are brand new to the channel and you like to see people suffer playing this game, you are in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help us to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling up above. Yes, it's been a good season. Yes, it's going to be a very tough summer transfer window. Things have to give here at this club. We are going to be in serious trouble next season if we cannot bring decent players in to replace the players that have left and are going to leave. And that's it for this episode. We'll be back when the brand new season begins with news of the transfer window and the first games of the season. All that remains to be said now is take care, and we will see you very soon.